Hey. All right. It's a video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
Welcome to the GamerCast Network Video Game Show, episode number 103 for Sunday, August 17th, 2008. I'm Chad, and this week, a roll question from Justin the Claw.
Hi, this is Justin the Claw, or Fear the Claw. If you could have one game erased from your memory so that you could play it again fresh, as if you'd never played it before and experience it for the first time again, what game would that be?
And joining us this evening is Ivan.
It continually amazes me how Diablo fits into every single question ever. I would only do Diablo 2 if it was also wiped out from everyone else's memory so that I could actually play it and enjoy it without having people ruin it.
I tried to keep it good for you, man. I really did.
I know you did, and I appreciated that, but Chris and Bob, being the just impatient ADD people that they are, just were like, why are we doing this? This is dumb. Let's just go to the guy that advances the quest line so we can get to the end and then start all over. Why? Oh my God, why are we doing this part? Why is he reading the quest lines? Which is ironic because when I was playing World of Warcraft with Bob, he would get, laughingly, but get frustrated that I wouldn't read the quest lines. I would go grab a quest while he was with me that he had already done, and I'd say, okay, where do we have to go? What do we have to do? And he's like, didn't you read the quest thing?
He found no humor in that at all, did he?
No. I mean, I didn't do it to be humorous. I did it on purpose because it's Bob, and I know that he just wants to grab the thing and then go punch stuff in the face. But yeah, he didn't see the irony in the fact that he was frustrated that I didn't read the quest lines. Anyway, though, we're not allowed to use Diablo, so I would probably use my other standby, which is Oblivion, because there was a lot of things I did in the beginning of that game which I screwed up and then had to do later. Knowing what I know now, wouldn't pick a archer type guy because they can't kill anything ever.
Is Oblivion like the only game that the archers aren't the overpowered guys?
It's not even that they're weak. They're fairly powerful. They've got pretty cool arrow shots and stuff. The fact is that everyone just bum rushes you. You're getting punched while you're trying to shoot an arrow 6 inches away from the guy.
Even if you wanted to be a mage in that game, you would still be fighting somewhat with melee, because even the monsters that shoot spells or shoot arrows, if the guy has an arrow, he'll run up, stand about 6 feet from you to shoot the arrow. And it's just like, all right, well, I'm going to pull out my sword and take 2 steps forward and stab you then.
Well, if he only has an arrow, I wouldn't be too afraid of him. He needs something called a bow, too.
Well, you know what I mean.
And also joining us this evening is Keith.
Going with the same, we really can't use Diablo 2 approach, I'm going to say Baldur's Gate 2 for the PC. Shadows of Amn. That game was just ridiculously fun to me, but it had zero replayability because the sweet sword is still in the furnace.
You don't have the random loot drops.
There's no random anything. It's literally just like kind of a scripted game, but it was one of the best games I played.
Those are the worst, the ones that are so much fun to play that you don't want them to end, and then when they do, there's nothing to do afterwards.
Yeah,
I was going to say, that's like my answer. My answer, obviously, me being the Wing Commander guy. Wing Commander 1, probably. Wing Commander 2. Wing Commander 2, I think, was better than Wing Commander 1. No, we made Wing Commander 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. Prophecy. One of the Wing Commanders. Just erase the memory and have me start it over again.
You know, on the flip side, though, at least they kept making new ones for you.
This week on the GamerCast Network. On Gamertag Radio, Godfrey interviews the dev team of Mercenaries 2 on episode number 158 live from Pandemic Studios in Los Angeles, California. Find out what they had to say about working on this title and more. Check out Uncle Gamer for their own special brand of humor. Tune into the Post Game Report to get all the facts. Post Game. Is Left 4 Dead going to have lag issues on the Xbox 360? And is $15 too much for an Xbox Live Arcade game? Discover the podcast community that brings you all these great podcasts and more. GamerCastNetwork.com.
Next topic.
I played quite possibly the worst game I have ever played in my life. An Xbox 360 game called Hail to the Chimp.
I'll tell you, it sounds like a winner.
Oh, yeah. Not only is it Hail to the Chimp and it's subtitled something ridiculous like race presidential, I don't know, it's politics. The premise of the game is that the king of the jungle is no longer king of the jungle, so there's a political race to find the next king of the jungle. Oh my god, it pains me just to talk about this because it's awful.
You know what? Okay, first off, let's get the basics here.
The gameplay is essentially, it's one of these party minigame kind of things where you run around and collect things and punch your opponents to make them drop things, and whoever collects the most things, after a certain amount of time
political
wins.
Campaign. You gonna vote for me? No, punch.
So you're collecting clams, which are
in the jungle.
Votes in the jungle. And their votes, it's actually humorous in that this would be awesome if this is the way political races actually went, that, whoever punched the people the most and got the most clams won the election.
It's called communism.
Yeah.
Got a question for you.
Okay.
You're stuck on a deserted island with this game or Space Giraffe?
Oh, God.
And suicide is not a viable answer.
I almost got to go with Space Giraffe.
Wow. And you know what? It was one of those where it was going to be a wow regardless of the answer.
Yeah.
Hey.
This game is all mini games. I know there are some political games out there, and they're like Stardock made the political machine or some really, really good strategy political game. This one has no strategy. This is all just mini games.
From what I can tell, yeah, there's like a campaign mode, which I guess is kind of funny because it's an actual campaign. And then there's just kind of versus mode, which I guess is just kind of quick play stuff. So this is kind of ironic. We're looking for a 4-player local game, and this actually supports 4 people locally, unfortunately. I would rather play Catch the Knife than this game.
Nothing like a rousing game of Catch the Knife. Don't try this at home, kids.
Hot potato with dynamite stick. Okay.
Exactly.
Russian roulette is an excellent party game, let me just tell you. For added bonus, add extra bullets. Each bullet adds extra fun. It's exponential.
Next topic.
I pre-ordered Fable 2, and I, of course, got the codes to download the pub games. This is an Xbox Live Arcade game that features some mini-games from the upcoming Fable 2. Normally it's 800 points, but if you pre-order Fable 2, you can get the game for free. And the thing is, while playing these mini-games, you can earn money and stuff for your character in Fable 2. And they're like casino games. Okay, so there are 3 games. There is one called Spinnerbox, one called Keystone, and one called Fortune's Tower. And Spinnerbox is pretty much slots. If you go to a casino and play slots, you've played Spinnerbox.
It's just random then.
Yes, it's totally random. And Keystone is like roulette, with maybe a little bit more betting strategies. And Fortune's Tower, that's the only one that I can actually see might have some deeper, like a card counting kind of strategy. It's like a card game where you're building this pyramid of cards, and every time you add a row, the sum of that row is what's offered. So obviously the more cards you have, the more it's offered to you. If you bet $15 and the row adds up to 34, they're going to offer you, hey, do you want $34 or do you want to press your luck and get a new row? And if you press your luck and go for a new row, the only way you will lose is if one of the new cards put down lands on a card of the same number. Each card lands on 2 cards from the previous row. You have 2 kind of like safety measures. The top card is called the gate card. And if one card in a row lands on top of the same numerical one, that gate card can be switched out with that card that landed on there. Now, it may be the same card, the same number, but one chance to save you there. And also mixed in the deck are these knight cards, which will protect the whole row. So if it's a knight card in a row, game won't end.
That game sounds okay.
The other 2 are just plain up straight randomness.
Renames of actual games like roulette or slots. I really like it when people come up with neat new games. I think it was Final Fantasy VIII had a whole mini game built in where you'd find cards throughout the world, but you'd play this game where you fought your opponent by playing cards, and it was fairly simplistic, but it was actually kind of fun to play. I never made it all the way through Final Fantasy VIII, but I played a heck of a lot of the little mini game.
You know, I really can't see spending 800 points for all these pub games. It's nice that you're going to be able to unlock stuff in the game. Beyond the money, you unlock concept art, and you can unlock in-game items that you can be able to tie to your Fable 2 character. That's cool. I mean, that's fine.
So there's not much point to these games if you don't have or plan on playing Fable.
No, if you're not planning on getting Fable 2, I can't see a point in playing it unless you like playing straight-up casino games.
Although I do got to say I am really looking forward to Fable 2 because Fable 1 was an awesome game, in my opinion. I had a lot of fun with it.
When does that come out? Does anyone remember?
October 21st, which is also the same time that the one I'm looking forward to, which is Dead Space.
That looks cool too.
Yeah, it's a very sci-fi-ish horror survival, run around, hack the crap out of stuff.
When Godfrey had that little clip thing on there for Dead Space, that looked cool. Because I've read about Dead Space, but I haven't really seen anything about it. Because I've really stopped looking into the games that are coming out. I found I'm just disappointed then. I look at the game and I guess I expect too much from it. So by the time it actually comes out, I'm just kind of disappointed and let down. It's like you ask the really hot chick out and she says yes, and you're like, sweet. And then you find out she laughs like, you know, that kind of thing. And then you're just like, oh, wow, this isn't what I wanted at all.
Next topic.
Diablo 3. We haven't talked about Diablo 3 for a while.
We had at least 1 week where we didn't.
I guess in Diablo 3, one of their design philosophies is they're always trying to keep the game as simple as possible. Whenever they add something in, they usually take something away. So I guess they're adding in some sort of hotkey thing. And what they're taking out are the potions. So potion management is going to be out of Diablo 3.
I can't say I'm disappointed by that.
What they're replacing it with is when you kill monsters, they're going to drop health orbs. And you pick those orbs up, and that gives you your health points back.
So instead of saving them, it instantly...
Yes. It sounds like it instantly gives you health.
The thing that I'm curious how they're going to work, Bob is very guilty of this. Anytime something drops in any way, shape, or form, he just instinctively grabs it and then goes, oh, wait a minute. I didn't even stop to think if anyone else wanted this.
They haven't said to that level yet. Maybe they're going to go along with the Hellgate idea. Everyone gets their own loot drops with things. Maybe. I don't know.
No, or maybe it'll be like Ultimate Alliance where just kind of the guy with the lowest health gets the health first or something.
Who knows how they're doing that? They haven't said that yet. The concern with people is this is going to make the game a lot harder because people in Diablo will sometimes remember just constantly drinking health potions like a tank.
And you know what? Oh no, it's going to be a more challenging game because its challenge level was so freaking high in the first one that you couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? That's pretty ridiculous. Suck it up. Also, it always irritated me that, all right, you're going to charge into hell and go fight, and you're just carrying around 16 little glass bottles filled with liquid. You would get hit by one of these attacks or something, and all your potions would break. Your guy would just slosh everywhere he went because his stomach would be so full of liquid. I never really was keen on the whole idea of health potions.
What they're saying is the game is being tuned a little bit differently than Diablo 2. They're making it so it'll work. This isn't going to break the game.
Again, I refer my statement to Blizzard has a very proven track record with me. I am not going to get upset or raise cries of, oh no, until I actually play it. Because, let's face it, they don't really put out crappy games. So if they're doing it, I'm pretty much cool with it because they're probably doing it for a reason.
Next topic.
So in Final Fantasy Online, they recently had a new expansion pack out, some new content.
That game is still around?
Yeah, it is still around somehow.
So I guess in this new content, they added something called the Zenny Notorious Monster System, which apparently is like tiers of monsters. There's like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. At the highest tier, they put in this thing called the Pandemonium Ward, and it's a shapeshifter. It's a shapeshifter that has 20 different forms. The head producer of Final Fantasy Online, Sage Sunday, he speculated in a conference that this beast would take like 18 hours to kill.
That's brilliant.
Hang on now. So a guild decided to see how hard it would be to kill Pandemonium Ward. The guild's name was Beyond the Limitation, and they found out that Mr. Sunday is pretty much right on. At the 18-hour point, they posted this in their forums. People were passing out and getting physically ill. We decided to end it before we risked turning into a horrible news story about how video games ruin people's lives. And some of the guys, after the 18 hours, no breaks, they were vomiting. They were so tired and overstressed here.
You know what, though? That doesn't surprise me because it's a very Asian game. Lots and lots of grinding.
But 18 hours for one fight? That's grinding to a whole new level.
When I read about this, I thought, well, that's not too bad because there's instances in World of Warcraft that take you several days. But the point is that you can end at any time. So if you get up to like the first boss and you kill him, and then you move on, you get halfway through towards the second boss, you can quit and then come back, and it saves your progress. You have a certain amount of time to do that in before it resets. So that's kind of what I assumed this was. Now now, it sounds like this is an 18-hour boss battle that you have to do in 18 hours, and if you give up, then you have to start over, and that is friggin' ridiculous. That's just a lawsuit waiting to happen is what that is. That would be an awesome idea if it was like 2 to 4 hours, maybe, you know? Because a 3-hour boss battle would actually be somewhat interesting if, like, it was just one battle that took 3 hours.
But you know what? Those games aren't designed for that either. Just the way the characters are built, they're designed for short bursts. They're not designed for long hauls. And even if you try to design your character for a long haul, if we just look at Warcraft, for example, your healers and your mages are going to run out of mana.
And you can't gain mana back
exactly
while you're in combat.
And again, Warcraft, but it was the same for Final Fantasy in that they're just not designed for long haul combat. So, but Final Fantasy, and I don't know, we even played that game for a while, and I'm not sure why. Because you literally are fighting bees, fish, crabs, up to like level 30. I'm not even saying that in any exaggeration. You did not fight actual monsters in that game. You fought critters.
And when you fought those critters, what kind of loot normally dropped?
God, I don't even remember. It's been so long.
And air crystals and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Let's say you invest a day fighting this Pandemonium Ward and nothing drops, or you get the most crappy drop in the world.
You know what? I'll be perfectly honest. I don't see them having any of the loot that drops from that thing be crappy.
That'd be my joke as a developer, though, if I was going to do that.
Then that dude just put a contract out on his head. Because
yeah, I was going to say, if that was your idea of a joke as a developer, then you better make sure that you have a pretty good security system in your home. Yeah, panic room.
Next topic.
There's a developer, Cliff Harris. He is an indie game developer with a company called Positech Games. And they don't make really AAA titles, they make smaller independent games, like I think one of them, Starship Tycoon. People were pirating his games, and he really did not understand why, because he had all demos for his games, he had it available over digital distribution services, all that kind of stuff, but people were still pirating his games. He put out to the pirating groups, he said, you know, can you tell me why you're pirating my games? And I guess lots of pirates responded. Now, they responded to more than just his. They also responded to why they pirate games in general. He got a lot of responses in a few different areas, but we'll just touch on the 2 areas which got the most responses. First, the quality of the games. I think you mentioned this a while ago, Keith. Remember how you said you get all this hype up for a game, it comes out, and it's not what you expected?
That's one of the huge reasons why I do like the Xbox 360 so much, is because pretty much every game that comes out, you can go download a demo for, so you're not really going to ever waste $60. And if you don't take advantage of that and you're a live member and you're going to complain about a poor game, that's your own fault.
Well, here was their thing. They got all this hype built up for a game, and then it comes out, and they find not a lot of quality in the actual gameplay and game design. The graphics are fine, but they just got bored playing the game. And on the demos, most felt that some demos weren't representative of the final game. So instead of buying games and getting disappointed, they just pirate them. Second, money. A lot of kids were saying they have no money, but they have lots of time.
I can understand that.
And they were like, you know, we can't afford these games. They were angry at the $60 price tag for games. The international buyers were angry that they're paying more. Like in Australia, there's really high charges on games. Like I think Grand Theft Auto is $100.
Talk about a sense of entitlement. Jesus.
They also said that they would buy the games if they were cheaper.
My personal opinion is, yes, it's $60, but you can't possibly tell me that you feel you're getting ripped off. With the costs of the games, and again, probably stems back to a huge rage against corporate America, but you got to make money on it. Why would you do it if you're not going to make money? Why would anyone do anything?
And I think the money thing isn't so much I'm getting ripped off, I don't want to spend it. I think the kid thing is important. You know, you're talking about young teenagers who don't have an income or get an allowance, but it would take 6 months to save up $60 for a game or something.
Whoa, that's some really cheap parents there.
Please, sir, may I have another bowl of gruel?
Well, you know what I mean? That's the thing, though, is, you know, kids, they want to, and I'm not suggesting that all kids have ADD, but I was the same way. I still am. You know, I get into something, and then a day or two later, a week later, whatever, I'm into something else and want to play something else. To feed their habit, you're talking $600 or plus a month if they paid for everything. So instead of paying for it because they don't have their own income to pay for these things, and mom and dad aren't going to support $600 a month video game habits, they pirate them.
I know we've mentioned this before with my brother when he was living in Ohio with his video game habit. We calculated out he was spending about $350 a month on video games. and then selling them on eBay for $200 to $300 to get money back, kind of thing.
The same thing with World of Warcraft. I mean, you can't get him to play World of Warcraft very long because he's off doing something else again, and then he's like, "Hey, let's play this," and I'm like, "Dude, you got us into World of Warcraft, and now you want to play something else?" I mean,
he is the ADD gamer. All right, this is sweet. Let's do this for a week. All right, now this is sweet. Let's move on. And the rest of us are like, well, this thing over here is still sweet, so we're still doing it.
Yeah, I remember way in the past that I could keep up with games because games didn't come out that often, and I could always spend time, playing a game for a month or two at a time, and then something new would come along. And there was a point probably about 10 years ago that stopped happening. New things kept coming out all the time, and now I'm like you guys. I don't switch every 5-10 days to something new. It's hard.
We've kind of completely flip-flopped on the game thing where you used to go 6 months before a new game came out that interested you. Now it's like every month there's at least one game that you would like to play. You either do buy every game that comes out that you want to play and then you can't play them, or you stick to one game because you really like it and you miss out on other games. It's gotten to a point where, me personally, I've got a backlog of things that, I said I was going to buy and play, and I just haven't because I've been playing other things. And
you know what? That's one of those things where, personally, I don't look at that necessarily as a bad thing. From my standpoint, actually a game that I picked it up for, it was like $8. Gun is the name of the game. I kind of like it.
That is the good side of not buying everything as soon as it comes out. I mean, eventually, when you have time to play the game, it might have dropped in price. But here you have all these kids with all kinds of time and no money, and they want to play the latest games with their friends.
I sound like such an old man when I say this, but there really is a sense of entitlement. Like, this game's out and I deserve to own and play it, and a very much I want it and I want it now attitude. I'm not quite sure where that came from.
It's the kids. It's kids.
It's kids. We sound like a bunch of old men. If your ball's in my yard, I'm going to pop it. How's that? You kids, stay off my lawn.
Next topic.
Mailbag. Mailbag.
Thank you. We had a piece of voice mail. Okay. Just making sure you're done there. Yes, thank you.
Now we're done.
Okay, good. Not much of a question, just much of a statement here.
Hey, GamerCast Network video game show. This is Samuel Geek. I was listening to your podcast, and I wanted to tell you that I actually have a friend who likes E.T., and I talked to him extensively on this, asking him why, because I personally, just like any normal person, find it horrible, but for some reason, he thinks that we're all just noobs. He says, if you walk around and stuff, you can go and actually play the game. It's like Indiana Jones. It just has secret material that you can't see blatantly with the eye. And honestly, that still makes the game broken to me. But apparently, he really likes the game. I don't know. Talk to you later.
Wow. His friend was probably struck in the head repeatedly as a child. That's the only explanation there.
Next topic.
Okay, next piece of mail. Hey guys, my 360 finally bit the bullet, and it being an original first generation 360, the warranty is up.
No, it's not.
Yeah, how is the warranty up? Unless it's like the drive.
And even then, they extended it for a handful of things. Finish reading.
So I've been looking online to see if the new 60 gigabyte 360 SKU will have the Jasper chipset in it. But it seems that at least the first few 60 gigabyte 360s do not have the new chipset. I have tried my best to search around, but I'm a bit confused. Have you guys heard anything about when the Jasper chipset is going to hit the 360s? Because if it's anytime soon, I can wait a few extra weeks until it comes out, so I won't have a problem down the road. Or is it completely pointless and not even worth waiting for? Thanks, guys. Congrats on the first 100. Keep them coming. Ryan. Yeah, I'm going to say it's pointless and not even worth waiting for, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know what a Jasper chipset is, but I would highly, highly recommend you look into the warranty on your Xbox because it may still be covered. And I think this guy would find that his Xbox probably is under warranty. I'm guessing. I don't know, but there was kind of a big snafu that Microsoft made there, and they've been pretty good about rectifying the situation.
I can understand where he's coming from. The newer chipsets, they run cooler, so you might not get the red ring. They break. Things break. Live with it. It sucks. Most of the time, things are covered. You're not going to be in trouble anyway if it goes out. So you're out a couple weeks without an Xbox. Yeah.
That's what your friends are for. So when your Xbox is broken, you have something to do in the meantime.
Like see the outer world. Because it's outer.
Meaning it's beyond the door.
Next topic.
There was another question on red versus blue, the ongoing thing. Blue is, what'd you say, Keith?
Blue is good, red is evil, and
This is from Nilla Bear on the forums. My question to Keith is, what color is the defining color for your allies? You know, in a lot of games, when you get ally units that you can't control but help you, what is their defining color?
green.
I was just gonna say green.
Green? Not blue.
Blue means it's like an NPC that you're not going to attack. The green guy is like, I'm grouped with Ivan, so he's going to be green. If I wasn't grouped with Ivan and we're on the same side, he's going to be blue.
Say I give you a color. You tell me what it is. If a unit showed white, what would that mean to you?
White would show, depending on the game, a equal level villain or a non-interactive NPC.
Purple.
Purple usually means don't mess with them, they're way too tough for you.
Yellow?
Neutral.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Yellow is usually neutral or like unknown. You know what I mean? Like you go up to it and you're not sure whether it's a good guy or a bad guy, and usually it's gonna wind up being that they're neutral.
Okay, finally, pink.
Pink means you're playing Hello Kitty online and you should be punched in the face.
Or it's actually purple and your TV is just off in their colors.
Right.
Next topic.
I guess there are YouTube videos up of the Death Knight corpse explosion from the upcoming World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King expansion.
Wait.
It's not sweet.
No?
It's very unimpressive.
Really?
Not surprising. Because they can't have it be so graphically intense. Otherwise, everyone's going to just pop all their corpses.
A YouTube link was sent to us by When Videos Attack. I'll put it in the show notes.
Ew.
That's about what I expected it to be.
That looks more like you're exploding the corpse to just make it
Henceforth
blow
corpse
up.
explosion?
Well, you know, but it's not like he's fighting one thing and then making the corpse blow up. The point of corpse explosion was so that it damaged other enemies around you.
But isn't that in itself kind of anti-Warcraft? Because you really don't fight huge groups of things.
When I play Warcraft, I can only take on one guy at a time.
And even if you're in a group, if you have a 5-man group, you're still fighting between 3 to 5 kind of guys at once. You're really not fighting a large group of people because, again, they didn't really set the game up to do that. But hey, you know what? I mean, it doesn't look bad.
I really like the whatever ability that he has that kind of pulls the enemy towards you. That's a good thing for melee fighters to use against ranged guys. That's cool.
But I can already tell you that's probably going to have every person complaining for PvP purposes. Oh, that sucks because I'm over here trying to shoot him and it's overpowered because he just makes me go to him and unzips his pants and has his way with me.
Next topic.
Last thing. This is from Francis. Hi, guys. I was just wondering what you think. Okay. Hi, guys. I gotta edit these next time.
I'm looking at this. So you get annoying people that type in all caps, or you get annoying people that type in all lowercase with no punctuation, and then you got this guy that capitalizes the first letter of every word.
Let me try this one more time. Hi, guys. I was just wondering what you think. Hi, guys. Okay, kids, next time you send in mail, please, I'm not a grammar Nazi, but you gotta help me here, man.
This reminds me of, I love Penny Arcade when they have the period.
Punctuation guys.
Yeah, punctuation guys.
Okay, here we go. Hi, guys. I was just wondering what it is you think that what you call a casual game is. Because me and a friend...
It would be a friend and I, by the way.
And next here, because me and a friend was having... No. Because me and a friend were having a discussion on what is a casual game and not...
So I'm an English major. Let me help you out. Because a friend and I were having a discussion on what is a casual game. You don't even need the and not. There you go.
I said that all the Pokemon games are casual, so he goes, if that's a casual game, then Gears of War and Halo games are casual. And this is where we get into an argument. So there you go. I hope you can tell me and my friend what a casual game is. Keep up the good work.
I disagree. I don't think Pokemon is a casual game. Pokemon is way too in-depth for a casual game. I couldn't hand Pokemon on the DS to my mother and say, here, have some fun, because she would not have a clue. From my perspective, a casual game is Peggle or Solitaire or Minesweeper, something that's kind of mindless that takes all of 2 minutes to figure out how to play.
My criteria is a combination of A, if it's casual, you should be able to pick it up and play it with relative ease, just as Ivan said. And B, the length of time. If you could play for, 5 or 10 minutes and either A, complete a level, B, complete a game, or C, get to the next waypoint.
So if I could play Gears of War in short bursts, is that a casual game?
Well, no,
Well-
because I wouldn't be able to hand a controller to my dad and say, let's...
Yeah, it's got to be both. It's got to be simplistic and pick up and play in a short duration. And Gears, you may be able to play for 5 minutes, but it's not simplistic. It's twitchy, not to mention there's all the buttons. So Pokemon is not something like that. It's aimed towards
Simple.
the younger crowd. Yeah, it's not a complicated game to play, but there's so much depth to Pokemon that it's not casual. And so,
Well, I
and
have to
Halo
go
and
find this
Gears
item
are,
to evolve this Pokemon, and
right.
this one will evolve if I trade him, and that kind of crap.
And also, Francis, better grammar.
English is a class that you should at least kind of pay attention to. It's not hard, because you know what, man? You're gonna need that later in life. The ability to write is handy.
Next topic.
Our listeners, reviews on iTunes. We have one here from Mutant Elmo. These guys are absolutely fantastic. They present gaming news in a fun and hilarious way. I look forward to this podcast week after week. They never disappoint.
Ham sandwich to you.
You haven't slept with me.
Oh boy.
Ham sandwich, Mutant Elmo, and share dream pie.
At the same time.
And that was Video Game Show episode number 103 for Sunday, August 17th, 2008. Any ham sandwiches or share dream pies to the world, gentlemen?
Ham sandwich to the movie Tropic Thunder, because it's funny.
Ooh, I want to see that.
Go see it. It's funny. In my opinion, Robert Downey Jr. makes that movie, and kudos to Tom Cruise as well. My respect level for him has gone up after this part, but it's an hysterical movie. Very, very funny. Very entertaining.
And a quick ham sandwich over to Duffman on the forums. He asked for one last week, so there you go, Duffman. Last reminder to get your entries in for the Ninja Gaiden 2 and Bourne Conspiracy giveaway. We're looking for the most important thing you learned from the game. Remember to make us laugh. Don't forget about the GamerCast Network Gaming Nights. You can find all the details for their upcoming game night on the forums at gamercastnetwork.com/forums. And don't forget about the iPod Touch giveaway from our MP3 host Libsyn. To enter, just take the audience survey. You can find a link in the show notes. Also, a member of the forums, Chain Gun Pope, is starting out his own gaming blog site and podcast over at GameTwerp.com. Go check it out. And next week, we'll put out details on how listeners who are going to PAX can meet up with members of the video game show. And as always, send your comments, questions, queries, concerns, or roll call question to the mailbag at mailbag@videogameshow.org, Skype us at videogameshow, or call us at 320-300-GAME. That is a standard long distance call and all normal fees apply. And that's a wrap. Good night.
Yeah, I was going to say, since I was an archer and couldn't kill anything, I just stealthed my way through the entire thing and just blew that whole section off, so I'm done.
You're done. Okay. And also...
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. You're done? Done?
I'm going to stop talking now.
Okay. And also...
I'm finished.
Okay. You sure?
I won't talk anymore.
Okay. Fine.
You can ask somebody else now.
Okay. We'll go right on to Keith. And also joining us...
Done.
Okay.
I knew there was going to be at least one more coming.
Sure.
Go ahead.
And
I'm
also...
done. Seriously.